I wonder if this is the one. I know one of the battles in Area 10 is pretty special. Yep, it's this one. This is the Colosseum throwback battle. So, on Area 93 of Mount Battle, we fight a trainer who has Espeon and Umbreon, and, well, actually I'm kind of worried about her later Pokemon, but I wanted to show this one on camera anyway, because, you know, we're getting towards the end of our journey through Orre, and it's the Colosseum throwback battle. I kind of want to get rid of the Espeon quickly, even though it doesn't really pose much of a threat to Fish Slayer. One of the few matchups here where Fish Slayer actually, has a decent time. Okay, I definitely want to get rid of the Espeon now. Hopefully it should go down this turn, and Umbreon is very passive. It's not like it's really going to be doing that much to me. Kind of have to put myself in the reverse mindset of Colosseum. It's almost like I am actually fighting my old Colosseum team. Except I never actually had Espeon use Calm Mind back then, I don't think. Don't really find boosting to be that worthwhile in double single player. So yeah, she has all 3 legendary beasts as well. I was about to say maybe this is actually Missy Jr., but no, it's not. The hair is totally different. Okay, here's the problem. Fish Slayer's probably going to have to get out of here now. Going to switch to an Electric Resist, and this Electric Resist can actually take out the Umbreon pretty effectively too. So let's see. Oh, I wish Umbreon got that in Colosseum. It would have been so amazing on Umbreon in Colosseum, but sadly Espeon was the one with that move, not Umbreon. Thankfully in XD, you actually can have a Helping Hand Umbreon, so that's pretty good. Still can't believe that earlier in this playthrough I made the mistake of thinking that Helping Hand was exclusive to Eevee, so you had to hold off on evolving Eevee until you had access to the move relearner, but turns out that is not true, and I'm so thankful for that. This probably isn't gonna KO. Okay, you out-prioritied me anyway. But I think Helping Hand, no, of course Helping Hand is at a higher priority than normal priority moves. Because you have to be able to Helping Hand boost a priority move, after all. Don't want to speak too soon, but this battle's going fairly smoothly so far. Ah, there's Suicune, okay. I'm guessing you have an Ice move, because most Water types here do. That actually did more than I was expecting. I feel like I can almost safely ignore that Umbreon and just focus on beating down the Suicune. Well, actually not really, because it's boosting things with Helping Hand. Wonder if that Suicune's going to use Surf. You actually don't see very many things with Surf in this game. That's probably Ricky down. We'll see. Well, Ricky wasn't even at full HP, so it's definitely Ricky down. And I think I can actually bring Fish Slayer back in. Surprisingly enough, Fish Slayer has good matchups against the entire rest of this fight. Not often that you see that, because often, yeah, there is a reason why Fish Slayer is the lowest level among my Pokemon. It's because she usually faints pretty quickly here. But if we go for a double target on the swoop, didn't go for a Helping Hand that time. Okay then. Calm Mind. Calm Kun. What they used to call it back in the day, one of the most popular movesets for it in competitive play, but it is down. Yeah, unfortunately the TM for Calm Mind I don't think exists in Colosseum, so you can't actually get a Calm Mind Suicune unless you raise it up to like level 70 something. It's really, really high, and it's not really that worth it for Colosseum's main story. I am kind of worried about a possible Helping-Handed Fire Blast onto Orson. But let's see how this goes. I think we established earlier that that Stab Crunch is better than super effective Water Pulse. So, well, here comes the Fire Blast, but it wasn't Helping Hand boosted. But it KO'd anyway. That's pretty much to be expected. The rest of my team's pretty much got this, I think. I still like this fight, though. It's a nice callback. Not that that's going to be really helpful. Okay. That is exactly why I didn't send out Dustcorps into this. And you get some rough skin damage. Actually, wait, no you don't, huh? Feint Attack is not considered a contact move in Gen 3. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I mean, all dark moves were special back, that might one-shot Lyra. Well, barely even one-shot Fish Slayer. Probably wouldn't have one-shot Lyra. I mean, barely came close to one-shotting Fish Slayer. Speaking of which, I think Fish Slayer should be comfortably hitting level 63 at the end of this. I am very under-leveled for this, but unlike Orre Colosseum, these opponents don't have any EVs or IVs, so they're not as difficult as their levels would suggest. It's a bit of a relief after, actually, not quite hitting level 63. Bit of a relief after Orre Colosseum. And, not Double Edge, I'll just go for Ice Beam. And one annoying thing about XD Mount Battle is that every single fight, apart from the area leaders and the end boss, all use this music. So, unlike Colosseum, where you had a variety of all of the game's different battle themes as you went through, here you're stuck hearing this again and again and again, which is precisely why I'm probably not going to be showing a full run through this place. I can probably safely switch you out and you'll still level up. So let's do that. I won't be showing any more battles in this area after this. I'll just be cutting right to the end, but I wanted to show this one at least. And there goes Umbreon. Kind of fitting that Umbreon was the last one to go down. And yep, that is level 63. And we have defeated the Colosseum Throwback Trainer. Kind of hoping for more interesting dialogue here. Well, you probably would have if this was the previous game. You know, you're lucky you're asking this question to one of the very few Pokemon protagonists who doesn't already have an answer to it by default. This guy's dialogue is pretty interesting too. This actually took me a few tries. I actually lost Battle 96 a few times because it's pretty brutal. I forgot how devastating it could be. Basically, they lead with a Ninjask and a Follow Me Togetic, meaning the Ninjask is pretty much guaranteed to get Swords Dance and at least one speed buff off. And then it baton passes to various things like Ursaring, Miltank, Armaldo, Breloom. It's a pretty scary fight overall, not helped by the fact that in one of my attempts, that Ursaring happened to knock out Ricky and then happened to get poisoned off of Effect Spore, so it also had +4 attack, +2 speed, and guts, so that really didn't end well at all. Anyway though, I am quite under-leveled for the final fight here. I kind of hope things go well. Probably won't, but we'll see, because the final fight is all level 70s. Not only that, they have some of the best Pokemon available in Gen 3. Yeah, the Mount Battle Master really stepped up their game since Colosseum Story Mode. It's also kind of fitting that this is where I started Colosseum's post-game videos, and this is where I'll be ending XD's post-game. So let's go! No big pan over of the Colosseum here, also no Time Flute for us to find. There's no items waiting for us, just this guy, and he looks pretty familiar. So if you've played up to Area 100 of Mount Battle Story Mode in Colosseum, you'll probably recognize this guy. But you may not recognize his name. Before I talk to him, though, I am leading with Ricky just because this guy has a very, very powerful Slacking, but he also has a lot of powerful Psychic types. If he does go for any of them, I can switch Ricky out for Fist Slayer and hopefully absorb the Psychic. So, that's going to be my plan going in. Anyway, this is Batless, the Master of Mount Battle. Now, you might remember from Colosseum the Mount Battle Master's name was Somek. Here's the thing, though. They are actually the same person. In the Japanese version, his name was always Batless. They changed it in the English version of Colosseum, but in XD they seem to have forgotten about this change and reverted it back to his Japanese name, Batless. I actually like Batless better. It comes from both Mount Battle and Atlas, you know, the Greek myth of the Titan who held up the world. It does fit, but anyway, this is the same guy as the story mode Mount Battle Master from Colosseum. We don't even get music here. Just an eerily silent pan over of the whole Colosseum. So, let's do this. And the only way he's changed since Colosseum is he's grown a giant moustache. Also, he still has the... Okay, I've never seen him leave with Dustclops before, that's interesting. He still has the Cypher admin battle music from this game, but seriously, any excuse to hear this music is awesome. So, yeah, he has Latias. Thankfully, it doesn't have Soldew, but it is still really terrifying, and I think Ricky is going to go and switch out to Fish Slayer here. Now, his Dustclops is actually pretty annoying. It has Imprison and Ice Beam and Shadow Ball. So, he tries to get rid of a lot of the common weaknesses of his dragons, and in the case of Latias, Psychics, also Ghosts. However, he can't imprison Icy Wind, so I'm going to go for that just to drop the speed of the field. He won't be able to imprison Crunch either, so provided that Fish Slayer survives this turn. Okay, good call there. Now, Icy Wind can miss. It has 95% accuracy, and I have actually lost this fight a few times thanks to Icy Wind missing. I think that Dustclops also imprisons Protect too. Okay, good. Icy Wind hit Latias. That's all I could hope for. So there's Imprison going off. Should only affect the two who are currently in battle, but it does mean that Skahar can't use Shadow Ball, which is annoying. However, so also if I try to use Ice Beam, yep, so Ice Beam is sealed, just to confirm that for you. Crunch is not, however. So yeah, Shadow Ball is also sealed. I wonder if I should go for the Helping Hand boosted Crunch. I feel like that's actually my best call here. Let's go for Helping Hand and Crunch, just because Latias has good special defense, so this probably won't finish it off, but I can try. I know that the Latis in this fight do have Thunderbolt, so Fish Slayer is probably only going to get one shot at this. Yeah, I thought I wouldn't be able to take it out in one go. No, you're going for Calm Mind. Well, I'm still outspeeding you and Crunch will finish you off, so I'm fine with that, personally. Uh-oh. I know who that's aimed at. And a critical hit ought to do it. I was hoping to keep you around to Icy Wind more of his Pokemon, but oh well. Right, who do I go for next? I want Levitine for one of his later Pokemon. Lyra is actually not that useful in this fight overall. However, Lyra is going to be taking a lot of damage from Shadow Ball, and Ricky's also not good here with the Latis out. I kind of have to go for Orson here. I do have some Revives and Hyper Potions, so I'll need to go for those later. Definitely want to get rid of that thing while it's got Calm Minds up. And you cannot hurt the Dustclops at all. I wonder if preemptively using Fake Tears on his next switch-in might not be a bad idea. Or I could try and preemptively return it. I feel like the results are going to be the same, because if it is Latios, then actually we'll outspeed Fish Slayer, so I won't be able to crunch it. But if it does outspeed Fish Slayer, preemptively using Fake Tears is not really going to do much. So I'm going to aim a return at that slot. Let's see who ends up coming out. He does have something that is resistant to return on his team. So if that comes out, this could be a problem. But let's see. I'm glad we're getting to hear this song one last time, though. Latios, okay, I was kind of hoping for that. Because you are a little bit weaker defensively than your sister. And yeah, the Latis usually are depicted as siblings in most media they're in. Who's that going for? You. Okay. Right, now here is a slight issue, because I know that thing has Thunderbolt. In fact, well, I'm pretty sure that it has Thunderbolt. So I could switch out for either Ricky or Lyra. Because after I get rid of Latios, he doesn't have anything else that resists Psychic. However, yeah, I'm gonna... to go for. I'm going to switch you, and then I'm going to smack that Latios with a return. I actually want to leave that Dusclops in, because it's a lot more of a passive Pokemon, so effectively he only has half the offensive power he'd normally have if, Good called it, if I leave the Dusclops safe. That is, again, the issue of defensive stalling Pokemon in double battles. I feel like that's actually a good strategy for this fight, because if you take out that Dusclops, he'll then be able to use 2 of his offensive powerhouses at once, and my team, this low level, can't really handle that. Okay, he's got 2 down. What's going to be next? Salamence! Okay, I was kind of afraid of that one. Especially because you're going to intimidate me now. Now, I do know that that's... well, that's kind of annoying as well. And I want to keep Ricky around for reasons. I do know that that Salamence definitely has Aerial Ace. I think I'm going to bring Lyra in. Actually, wait, no. Because Lyra will probably get Shadow Balled if I do that. And I kind of want to preserve Lavertine. I really want Skahar back in. I don't want to sacrifice Ricky, though, because I definitely need Ricky around for... I'll just say this, he has a Slacking, and that's why I want Ricky still around. Let's see if I can smack that Salamence with a return. It probably won't two-shot because of Intimidate, but we'll see. Doing an unusual amount of switching for double battle, and yeah, there is Aerial Ace. Not really all that devastating, though. I know that Salamence has Earthquake, I know it has Aerial Ace, and I forget what else it has. Oh, hey, I actually am two-shotting it. That's pretty good. Okay, good thing I switched out, because, yeah. I do not feel confident about outspeeding that Salamence. I am going to Hyper Potion now. You might notice I haven't given the Lucky Egg to anyone. I probably should have, but like I said in Mirror B's fight, I don't like my levels being uneven. Okay, you have Fire Blast. Oh, that did a lot less than I thought it would. And there goes Salamence. I must say, Orson's actually been pretty valuable in these later fights. Well, not so much the Mirror B fight because he got double Hydro Pumped, but he's been pretty good in this one. He's hits very, very hard with return. There's Slacking. Now, it's entirely possible that Slacking might end up KOing Dusclops because it loves to use Earthquake, so we'll see what happens, though it also has Hyper Beam. Okay, out of his 3 left, 2... Okay, right, so I don't really need Fish Slayer as much, but I definitely want to see that Slacking gone. I'm going to go for a double up on the Slacking. I have a feeling that's on Fish Slayer, and if it is, Fish Slayer is probably gone. No, it's not, and Orson is the one who is gone. That's actually... Well, it's not as bad as it could be. Okay, if I do switch Ricky in, I don't need to worry about being Shadow Ball, because he would not have aimed a Shadow Ball at Orson because of the immunity. I think this guy has... Well, he's got quote-unquote good AI. The AI that always uses super effective moves if possible, which I was able to manipulate earlier. Do I go for Ricky or do I go for Lyra is the question here. Because Slacking has banned special defense... no, I want to Sky Uppercut that Slacking. But I will probably need to heal Ricky because I feel like I might not be able to take an Ice Beam from the Dusclops. Oh, nice crit there. Very nice crit. Even so, I don't think that a Mach Punch will finish it off. Slacking is very, very bulky, so Mach Punch is probably not going to finish this. I need to use Sky Uppercut, and that means I need to partially worry about, yeah, I'm going to go for a Hyper Potion. Heal Ricky, and then I'm going to Shoryuken that Slacking. Good, no miss. That is excellent. And that brings him down to his final Pokemon, which is the one that I've been saving Lavertine for. And I do know from an earlier attempt, because yes, I have actually lost this battle a few times, that Lavertine does outspeed this thing. Metagross. So like I said, he has some of the strongest Pokemon that are available in all of Gen 3. He's definitely a big step up from the, from Colosseum story mode, Mount Battle Master. Okay, here's the thing. I could try and get rid of the Dusclops now, but actually maybe not. Crunch is neutral on Metagross, so I should probably go for that, and then I guess Sky Uppercut is also neutral. I'm just kind of worried about that thing using Psychic. I don't really have my switch out recourse here. Ricky is technically speaking useless against that Dusclops, so I feel like I should use Ricky's turn to heal, because I am down to only 4, and Lyra goes down easily to Shadow Ball, and Lavertine goes down easily to Earthquake, so I need to be careful here, because if Lavertine ends up coming right into an Earthquake, that's not good. And I mean, I'm not entirely... well... Huh, I forgot you could learn that! Then again, a lot of Pokemon can learn Aerial Ace. I still wish it was translated better, because in Japanese its name implies that it's a cutting move, so that explains why a lot of Pokemon with claws can learn it. It's sort of a pun on a samurai technique called the Turning Swallow Cut, and it's a flying type move because it's named after a bird, even though the actual move has nothing to do with birds. Okay, here's the thing. I do not want to miss Fire Blast here. I really do not want to miss Fire Blast at all, because that would be devastating. Please don't miss Fire Blast. I don't care at all. I'm not targeting you. Don't you just love it when an opponent predicts a double protect and then you completely manage to avoid that trap? Actually, Fishslayer has been doing really well with those crits in this fight. Wouldn't have really mattered unless this Fire Blast had missed, in which case that crit would have made it easier to finish off the Metagross with something else, but still. And then there was one. So... oh, right. Wait a second. Oh, it does seal it for the remainder of the entire fight. Of course it does. I should have known that. Oh, well, at least your Achilles heel is Crunch, because that is one of your weaknesses that you can't seal. Oh, and how fitting that Lavertine ends the, essentially the final fight that I'm going to be doing. Really the final one that actually matters. And yeah, I defeated the Mount Battle Master. Under level 2. This is kind of funny. I will just say, I failed this battle miserably the first couple of times, and this was very, very different. It just goes to show how much, sometimes, if you're struggling with something, quitting and then coming back tomorrow can be good, because this is my first attempt the day after I failed twice, and, yeah, it went much more smoothly. It's always funny when trainers have quotes that are praising you, but their defeat animations look like they're angry at losing. That happens a lot in Sun and Moon, especially with preschoolers. But anyway... it reminds me a lot of, who was it? Was it? No, it's Lance who said that in the Elite Four. So, our prize for defeating him is 2,000 Poke Coupons. But, the main reason why I wanted to show this is, there are actually 2 more prizes for doing this, but you have to do it a certain way. If you go through Mount Battle, starting at Area 1, going all the way from Area 1 to Area 10, so battles 1 to 100, without leaving Mount Battle and without changing your team at a PC. So, never touch the PCs in the break rooms. I think you are allowed to save, you're just not allowed to leave Mount Battle. What this essentially means is, you're playing Mount Battle under the conditions of Colosseum Mount Battle's battle mode. If you finish Mount Battle this way, your whole team gets given the Earth Ribbon, which interestingly enough also existed in Colosseum and could be attained the exact same way. I didn't know that, but yeah. What I did know though is, the Earth Ribbon isn't the real reward for doing that. If you do this, in addition to that, you get given a choice of 3 Pokemon as your prize. Those Pokemon are the Johto starters, their lowest forms. Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile. I won't spend much time discussing the Johto starters as Pokemon, because 1, I already did that back in Colosseum, and 2, you're not going to be getting these during the main story, so it's not like their usability has any relevance there. So I'll just describe the reasons why these specific Johto starters are special. The Johto starters obtained from XD's Mount Battle all have 1 Egg move and 1 Elemental Hyper Beam. Back in Generation 3, this was actually the only way to get the Johto starters with the Elemental Hyper Beams, because the move tutor for them in Fire Red and Leaf Green only worked on the Kanto starters. It wasn't until Gen 4 when they allowed every starter access to those moves. As for this Chikorita's Egg move, it's Ancient Power, which is not exactly the best move for Chikorita, but its attack is only 1 point lower than its special attack, so it doesn't really matter whether you use physical or special moves on it. I suppose if it randomly gets the boost it can help, but Chikorita's not a particularly offensive Pokemon anyway, so it doesn't really appreciate this move that much. Cyndaquil's Egg move is Reversal, which might be an even worse one than Chikorita's Ancient Power. While Typhlosion's physical attack isn't terrible, it has no access to Endure, meaning you can't reliably get down to the HP threshold where Reversal makes a difference. You're probably better off teaching Focus Punch or Brick Break via TM than going with Reversal, sadly. On the plus side, Typhlosion's special attack is the highest attacking stat of the Johto starters, so it makes the best use of its Elemental Hyper Beam if you want an overkill move. Totodile's Egg move is Crunch. Now, in later generations, this would be the best out of the 3 Egg moves by far. Unfortunately, this being pre-physical special split means that Crunch is a special move. Granted, Totodile is kind of forced to be a mixed attacker in Gen 3 anyway, just because of said lack of physical special split, so Crunch isn't a terrible move to keep on it. In fact, I'd probably still say this is the best of the 3 Egg moves available from Mount Battle. And I should mention after all that you can get all 3 of them in 1 copy of XD. You just need to do all of Mount Battle from Zone 1 to Zone 100 with the same team. Well, not the same team, but with 1 team, and not changing again. Now, doing all of that 3 times might sound painfully tedious, but let me tell you, it is so much better than the alternative way of getting all 3 Johto starters in Generation 3, and that is Emerald. So, in Emerald, you get given 1 Johto starter per playthrough for completing the Hoenn Pokédex. If you want to get all 3 Johto starters using just Emerald, you need to completely fill the Hoenn Pokédex 3 times! Even though doing Mount Battle and XD 3 times will take maybe around 12 hours, it is still better than doing it in Emerald. I'll just say that much. However, an even easier method is, if you have Colosseum, just trade the Johto starters from Colosseum to a GBA game and breed them. That's probably the easiest method, but at least XD's method is better than Emerald's. And so we go back to the bottom. And let me just quickly check on my Purify Chamber. Greevil's Pokemon are all done, but Dragonite is not quite there yet. I want to, because the Relic Stone in Agate Village has been neglected, and it actually is still a viable purification method, I want to purify my final batch of Shadow Pokemon at the Relic Stone. So, I'll see you after Dragonite is fully purified. You know, I just realized something. I could try putting all the Pokesnacks up on Pokespots and see if I can get... There is one other thing I should just mention that I haven't shown yet. It's an event that can randomly happen at Pokespots, and I was fully expecting to see it after I started doing the Bonsly quest, and then I got Bonsly on my first try. So, sometimes if you put out Pokesnacks at a Pokespot, Munchlax will appear. The old lady's Munchlax from Gate and Port. If that happens, then you lose your Pokesnacks and no Pokemon appears, but the old lady will give you various items as compensation. So I'm just discussing it now just in case I can't get it to show on camera. Let's finally give the Relic Stone some use. It's time to purify the last Shadow Pokemon. And with that, if we look at our save screen, we have 83 out of 83 Pokemon purified. Also, that playtime, I'd estimate at least 15 hours of that, possibly 20 was grinding, so that's probably not really accurate. But yeah, 83 out of 83. In order to claim our reward for this, and there's no real physical reward, we need to go back and view the credits again, which means going back to Citadark Isle and fighting Greevil again. So, I'm going to see you back there for that. So, after you've snagged all of Greevil's Shadow Pokemon, well, rather, for each Shadow Pokemon on Greevil's team that you snag, he'll replace it with a different Pokemon if you rematch him. So, now we've snagged all 6 of his, he'll have a totally new team of 6 Pokemon, and that's what I want to show fighting here. However, his whole team is level 50, so if I went in with my main story team, I'd kind of vastly outlevel him, and the fight would be kind of a joke. But while I was purifying Pokemon, I came up with an idea. I think it would be pretty poetic to end things this way. Let's fight Greevil with his original team, now purified. Not only will this make this more of a challenge, but like I said, it's kind of fitting. Oh, probably should get rid of that. Anyway, let's do this. So even after you've beaten the game, you can refight Greevil anytime you want by going up this elevator. It's kinda like a lot of other games in that they kinda treat it as if you haven't beaten the final boss. So, Greevil's gonna be acting really out of character here, but just kind of ignore that. So he's going with a different lead combination this time, Manectric and Swellow. I believe Swellow replaces Moltres, because there really aren't any other Fire Flyings that he could replace it with other than Charizard. And yes, both are level 50. However, my Rhydon does have Lightning Rod, right? Please tell me I have Lightning Rod. No, I don't have Lightning Rod. Okay, that's going to be kind of bad for Moltres. But anyway, I can still Earthquake pretty safely to try and take out the Manectric. Let's see what Moltres will do. Let's try and Flamethrower the Swellow. Of course, Swellow is going first, because Swellow is a super fast Pokemon, but it's not really all that strong, so I'm not too worried about it personally. Moltres is also pretty bulky, what a lot of people forget. Apparently not bulky enough! Okay, I need to send in a Flying type, because otherwise somebody's gonna get Earthquaked. Didn't want to have to go with Zapdos so soon, but let's send Zapdos in now. Guess you can see what some of the different Pokeball animations look like here. That should hopefully one-shot them. Yes, it did. Good. So that's one of his down. Swellow's completely immune, but doesn't really matter. I'm just going to Thunderbolt it next turn. Speaking of something that I can Thunderbolt, there's Starmie, who I probably want to switch right on out for this. Even though I could Mega Horn it, don't really fancy taking a Hydro Pump. So let's go for Exeggutor, and let's have Zapdos Thunderbolt the Swellow. Really hope that the Swellow doesn't psychically predict this and go for a flying move on Exeggutor. Also, yeah, Timer Balls have a really cool sending out animation in this game. Steel Wing. It's kind of weird. Probably not aimed at Zapdos because it's not very effective on electric, but I don't think I've actually seen Steel Wing before. And that is Swellow gone, no surprise, since Zapdos is pretty powerful. Next up is Granbull. Pretty sure that's his replacement for Taurus. Starmie, I'm guessing, replaces either Exeggutor or Articuno. Not 100% sure what the exact replacements are. Okay, you do have Ice Beam, though. Sadly, Ancient Power is physical. I guess I have to go for Psychic on you. I forgot this Exeggutor doesn't know any grass moves off the bat. Probably should have taught it something. You're using Ice Beam. Don't really want to lose Zapdos just yet. I might want to actually switch out for... Intimidating the Granbull might not be a bad thing. Let's go for Taurus. And once again, this music is amazing. Not like that's going to do much to the Starmie. Taurus is also pretty fast, so I hope I'll be able to outspeed some things. Exeggutor is also pretty slow, but it looks like Granbull is slower. Actually, gotta remember the Taurus is 4 levels lower than some of these. Double Edge. Okay, that wasn't great, but we can work with this. Probably need to heal here. I still haven't needed to switch from Hyper Potions, by the way. Hyper Potions healing 200 HP. It's just so unlikely that you'll have any more than that for the vast majority of the game. So they're pretty much all you need most of the time. Full Restores are nice because they also heal status, but I personally feel that Max Potions are pretty useless during the main story of most of the 3rd gen games. Hello there, Extreme Coat Close-Up. Altaria! Okay, maybe that's his replacement for Articuno. Okay, he still has 3 left. Kinda want Articuno to take out the Altaria, but... I could try and Body Slam the Starmie, but I have a feeling that Taurus is gonna be outspared by it. No, it's not! Okay, Taurus is faster. Nice to know. Yeah, sadly this is only Body Slam, not Double Edge or Return or anything like that, but it got the Paralysis. That's actually pretty great. Dragon Breath. That's probably aimed at Taurus, isn't it? Yes, it is. Oh! Okay, that's kind of cool. And got the Paralysis right back at me. And that completely fails. Yeah. Still keeping Exeggutor out because of the nice resistance, but I think I'm going to have to go out to Articuno. Definitely want to Ice Beam that Altaria. Oh, Timer Balls look so cool. I forgot how awesome the Timer Ball animation was. I had a feeling you'd be going for that. At least Exeggutor is not 4 times weak to it, like the grass type I use on my main team. And Altaria isn't particularly strong offensively. I could be using that on Altaria, but no, I just want to Ice Beam it. I want to give everyone a chance here. Yeah, that barely does anything. That's probably aimed at Exeggutor, isn't it? Yes, it is. Now that you're paralyzed, though, I could try and Mega Horn you with Rhydon. I have tried... Well, tried to use everyone in this fight. Yeah, Moltres went down pretty easily, but... I'm going to go ahead and do that. Well, hopefully Mega Horn actually... Or Earthquake's probably a more reliable method of taking it out at this point, though. But Mega Horn has the cool factor. I want to try Mega Horn. Okay, good. Articuno is the fastest thing on the field. Let's Ice Beam down that Altaria, hopefully. Yep, there goes Altaria. And what is his next Pokemon? Aerodactyl, I'm pretty sure that's his replacement for Zapdos. Again, a pretty different Pokemon to the actual one it's replacing, but there really aren't very many electric flying types out there, so, well, at least not at this point in the series. Okay, he's down to just Aerodactyl. The problem with this is that, yeah, Aerodactyl is insanely fast and probably has Rock Slide, so I may want to use Rhydon's turn to use a Revive. I wonder who's... Or I could try and full restore Taurus, even though Taurus doesn't really have the best chance of taking it out. Ironic... Oh, no, actually, it could have Aerial Ace. Yeah, let's go for a heal on Zapdos, and just in case Articuno doesn't instantly get obliterated by Rock Slide, the Ancient Power, that's probably still going to obliterate Articuno. Yep, 4 times... No! Wow, you survived a quad weak attack. That is pretty impressive. I should have given Articuno's defenses more credit. And down goes Aerodactyl, so that was actually kind of cool. I beat Greavil with his original team. And it wasn't even that difficult. So yeah, Greevil's rematch party is really not all that hard. And the actual ending up until the credits is the exact same, so I think I'm just going to cut ahead for that. Here is the new scene. The snag machine is no longer needed. Now that all the Shadow Pokemon are saved. And that's the end of Pokemon XD for real this time. Actually, not entirely, because I still plan on covering the Battle CDs and eventually Orre Colosseum. But I thought I'd still show the credits again, just to give my overall thoughts on the project itself. This is a game that I wasn't really expecting to do this soon, but after I did my post-commentary over my old footage of Colosseum, I realized how much I love these two games, and I was just kind of bitten by the Pokemon bug and really wanted to do another Pokemon game, and I was just like, hey, let's do XD right now. I just couldn't resist, and I'm really glad I did. I've actually enjoyed this project a lot. I probably like this game a lot more than many people do. This is actually, like I said, probably one of my favorite spin-offs in the series, and actually one of my favorite Pokemon games in general. And I'm glad to have been able to show it to you all. It actually went relatively smoothly, at least until later on, at the very end. And one thing that I will mention is that I think I found a method to stop my capture card from glitching very much, or desyncing. It seems that if I turn off the internet while I'm recording, then it actually seems to come out fine most of the time. So maybe that's the issue. Yeah, Australia's internet is that terrible, it actually kills my capture card just for being on. So also, me doing XD like this, it was kind of a test of doing one game and its sequel back to back. Let's just say this isn't the last time I'm planning on doing this. There are 2 more future projects that I'm considering doing the original and the sequel back-to-back for various reasons, and this is kind of a test of that. XD is a fairly short game overall, these games are a lot longer, so I don't know if it's really all that much of a trial run, but hopefully it went pretty well, and hopefully you've enjoyed 2 of the same kind of thing in a row. You can really see the improvements that XD makes when you see it back-to-back with Colosseum, which is part of why I decided to do it this way. So, what's next? Well, I'm actually going to have an update video talking about what I plan to do next on the channel. But for now, I'll just leave you with these credits, and the fact that I definitely will be doing the Battle CDs, expect those soon. I will need to do some preparation before I can do Orre Colosseum, but until then, This is Big Clingy signing off. Yep, he's doing it! He's doing it! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the worst animation in all of these games. Bounce. And it gets even better. Watch what the actual attack portion of the animation looks like. So, to start the attack, the Pokemon just slowly rises up in the air and stands in mid-air. To actually attack, they do their standard physical attack animation standing in the air. That has got to be the laziest animation in this entire game, and thankfully not many Pokemon learn Bounce, but it's still really hilarious. I don't know why. I personally think that animation is the stupidest animation in all of Colosseum and XD. Let's see if he does it again. Behold, once again, Bounce.